Hey gorgeous, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. I hope you're all doing well. So today we're building the house for the Frio family. If you don't know the Frio family, they were first introduced in The Sims 3. They lived in Sunset Valley and they consisted of two brothers, Connor and Jared Frio. And yeah, I did some researching actually to figure out what families I should build houses for, especially the ones from The Sims 3, because right now we have covered all of the Sims 2 families in my save file, but since I kind of wanted to introduce some additional characters from The Sims 3, like I also introduced the Alto family, for example, I wanted to kind of look into what characters lived in Sunset Valley and see which ones I wanted to include in my save file as well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to introduce all of them because there were so many and I just don't have enough lots left in Newcrest and Sunset Valley, or not Sunset Valley, in Willow Creek, apologies. So yeah, I just kind of had to pick and choose and see which storylines really interested me and I wanted to build upon a bit further. So I picked the Frio family. Like I just mentioned, they consisted of two Sims, two brothers, Jared and Connor. And what really interests me is one of the single lady Sims in town is actually pregnant with Jared's baby. So just to give you a little bit of a character sketch of who these Sims are, Jared is a bit of a playboy, I guess you could say. You know, he is a bit reckless. He wears like this really cool leather jacket and stuff. And then his brother Jared, he is quite the opposite. He is not really a womanizer at all. He's a bit more quiet, reserved, maybe a bit nerdy. I think he's in the journalism career, so he is an aspiring writer, I suppose. So that's just a rough character sketch of these two Sims. And like I just said, one of the single lady Sims is pregnant with Jared's child. So the Sim who is pregnant, her name is Claire Ursine, which is a bit of a nod to The Sims 1 Claire the Bear. If you remember, Claire the Bear was an NPC character in The Sims 1. She would randomly show up onto your lot and start rummaging through your trash can. Or if you have, I believe, making magic, she would also be able to steal your honey. So she was a bit of a fun character. And in The Sims 3, they introduced a character named Claire Ursine, who was in the criminal career, and I think she had some traits, some characteristics that sort of resemble her like Ursine nature, if you will. So yeah, she's a very interesting character, and when you first load up Sunset Valley in The Sims 3, she's actually pregnant with Jared's child, and if you just kind of let the neighborhood kind of run the natural course, if you will, she will always give birth to a baby daughter. So I kind of wanted to build up on that storyline because it's very interesting to me. When you load up the game, Claire has a bad relationship with her ex Jared. So I kind of imagined that perhaps it was an unplanned pregnancy. So there's definitely some interesting stuff going on there that I wanted to build up on further. Now, in my save file, just to take you back to present day, in my house, we're going to have the two brothers still. Jared and Connor Frio are still living together. They have not changed a lot, their characters. I mean, of course, they're elders right now, but Jared is still very much a playboy, and Connor is still very much the responsible brother of the two. And he just kind of, you know, keeps living with his brother to keep him in check, to you know, basically parent him a little bit, I guess. And they are living with the daughter of Claire Ursine. So what happened in my storyline is that unfortunately Claire the Bear, she passed away. She had an untimely death, I guess you could say. She was in the criminal career, so I guess something maybe happened at work. Either she disappeared, but I don't think you can really make a sim disappear in The Sims 4. So I guess I'm going to have to kill her off in my save file. But you can kind of guess what maybe happened in the past. I don't mean to go into too much detail there. But that meant that her daughter, she had no guardian left, basically. So perhaps in the past, the social services came by and they figured out that her father, of course, Jared Frio, was still alive, and they brought her over to her father to see if he was willing to take care of her. And I think, judging from Jared's character, he probably didn't really want to at first. But his brother Connor, who is the more responsible one, obviously, he really urged him to take in their baby and take care of her and kind of give her a somewhat normal childhood, since her mother passed away, which is of course very, very sad. But yeah, so that's basically the background story of this family. So right now, the Frio brothers are both elders, and their daughter, I'm going to set her age, I think, as a young adult, although realistically, I think my save file takes place approximately 40 years after the events of The Sims 3, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. She'd realistically be more of an adult. But then again, if you look at other families, some storylines just don't really quite add up. Also, they don't really quite add up in like the original Sims title. So I feel it's okay for me to take a little bit of, creative liberty here and there. So I think I'm going to set her as a young adult. I've also come up with a name, which I thought was very fitting. Her name is going to be Bernadette Ursine, to kind of stick within the bear theme. I've looked up what Bernadette means, and I think it means something like strong female bear or something along those lines. And I thought it was a very fitting name, of course, keeping in mind that Claire Ursine was definitely a nod to Claire the bear. Also, when I'm building her bedroom, apologies, I'm going to put in like loads of bear toys, stuffed bears and stuff like that, to kind of give a nod to the whole Claire the bear thing. So yeah, so she lives here as a young adult. I guess as a character, Bernadette, she's a bit more of a reserved person. I think as a result, as quite a traumatic childhood, I would say. Of course, she lost her mom at a very, very young age. She had to live with her father and uncle, and she does not have the best relationship with her father, because I imagine Jared to be, just generally not a very good person. He is very self-absorbed. I think he's a bit of a narc. But she does have a very good relationship with her uncle Connor. I think he's definitely more of the father figure of the family, not only to Bernadette, but also to Jared to an extent. So yeah, that's basically her storyline. I also like the idea of her being really into maybe gardening, being into like outdoorsy stuff, because obviously she is the daughter of Claire the bear. So I thought it was only fitting to kind of roll with that storyline. So yeah, that's basically the storyline that I have in mind for the Sims living here. I hope you guys really like that idea. I had so much fun coming up with this storyline, and I am actually a bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I quite regret actually in Willow Creek coming up with a couple of my own characters to live in the world, because I wish I would have just looked more into Sims 3 lore, because there's so many interesting characters living in Sunset Valley that I wish I kind of took their storyline and build up on that further, so I would have more families living in these worlds that kind of resonate with you guys. But I think my first priority is just going to be to finish the save file, to have both Willow Creek and Newcrest filled up with families that we know and love from The Sims 3 and The Sims 2. But perhaps maybe at some point I'm going to also make a new save file, not necessarily make an entirely new save file, but perhaps just delete like my own characters. I think, well, I forgot their names. I think we have the Castillo family in Willow Creek, the Hartleys, the Maxwells, which are families that I kind of, came up with by myself, basically. And I might replace them with like Sims 3 characters if you guys are interested in that. So I might do that. But also, I'm also very interested in kind of building Oasis Springs and introducing heaps of characters from The Sims to Strange Town. Because there's some very interesting characters living there. Like, my favorite storyline is the Olive Spectre storyline. If you don't know it, look it up on the Sims Wiki because it's so interesting. So I'm definitely excited to do that as well. But you guys let me know if you wish I would do like an improvement of Willow Creek and introduce more families from The Sims 3 and replace my old families. Or if you want me to continue building my save file and move on to Oasis Springs and introduce Strange Town families. So just you guys let me know what you would prefer. Let's talk about this house because I have not done that at all so far. Usually I just kind of like to get the storyline out of the way first so you guys have an idea of what kind of Sims I had in mind while I built this house. So again, it's going to be yet another Queen Anne Victorian. I've explained this 1,000 times, but I just want all the builds in my save file to look cohesive. And since I feel like not Oasis Springs, apologies. Willow Creek and Newcrest is definitely based on sort of that New Orleans Victorian style. I kind of wanted to stick with that. So I built this house as a Queen Anne Victorian, but I colored it yellow because if you guys remember, the original Frio house in The Sims 3 is also yellow. So that's kind of a nod to the original Sims 3 storyline. And in terms of the interior, I thought it would be very important to really make a sort of bachelor pad, if you will. If you walk into this house, it needs to be immediately clear that there's bachelors living here. Like, it's very masculine, very dark, but still very tasteful, in my opinion. Oh, and you see me building here like a little bar area. This, in the original house, this would be, I guess, like a garage area, but these are bachelors, and I thought it would be fun to sort of make a bar area there. I put like a foosball table and like a darts board, and I guess the Jared especially, because he's definitely the extroverted person of the two. He would like to invite people here and have parties. I would imagine that he's kind of the popular guy, or well, maybe he's not necessarily very popular. I like the idea of him thinking that he is popular, but like in reality, people don't really like him. If you know what I mean. I think he's that kind of guy. But yeah, I thought this room was a lot of fun. It's a bit different. It's not as stylish as the rest of the house. Is definitely meant to resemble kind of like a brown cafe. But yeah, I mean, I feel like any bachelor would kind of dream to have a room like this. So I thought that would be fun to put it in. So yeah, the rest of the house, like I said, very dark, but definitely stylish. I had a lot of fun putting the furniture together. So this room is a bit interesting. It is meant to be a laundry room, but I've explained this before. I don't put any laundry rooms in my actual houses that are going in my save file, just because I personally do not like to play with laundry. But if you do, and you want to download this house, this is where you can easily build a laundry room if you want to. I just don't like to play with laundry, but sometimes it's nice to kind of build a, like a utility room, to kind of suggest that is where a laundry would go, just for realism purposes. So yeah, and this is Jared's bedroom. So upstairs there is 3 bedrooms, one like amazingly large suite, and then 2 sort of normal sized bedrooms, I guess. They're still quite big, but this room is massive. It's absolutely huge. And of course, this is Jared's bedroom because the narc that he is, he would not settle for less, obviously. So I wanted it to be very fancy, very grand. Of course, he has like a huge TV in his bedroom. He has an additional sitting corner in the sort of tower sunroom area. I put an additional sitting space there. Oh, and I loved putting in that globe bar. I feel like that's such a bachelor item to have. And also from his room, you'll see two doors there. One is going into his walk-in closet, which I cut out building that because it's not really anything interesting. It's just, I used like a heap of the modular furniture from, what's it called? Dream Home Decorator. To kind of make a walk-in closet. And then next to it is a huge bathroom. So in the bathroom, I put like a double shower. I put a hot tub, a large hot tub. And it's, you know, always very dark still, like a very dark color scheme. But yeah, it's very fancy and very over the top, really. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy that. I feel like it really reflects his personality as well, wanting the biggest room. And I think maybe he likes, because he's a bachelor still. I mean, he's an elder, but he's still a bachelor. He'd like the idea of, you know, taking girls here. Perhaps he's, you know, I kind of imagine him being into younger women. You know, he's that kind of guy. You know, he's not a great character, but I like coming up with these colorful sort of personalities. Like, I don't like to have like only good Sims with good traits living in my world. I like some variation. Apologies, I don't know what's up with my throat today, but I you know, I just keep on needing to clear it for some reason, but oh well. So yeah, in total this house has 3 bedrooms. I think I just mentioned that, but of course it's a large house, so you would very much be able to add in additional bedrooms. I actually built this house from an existing floor plan that I found on Pinterest. So basically this house is a total knockoff, you guys. I did not come up with this myself. Like I could never. I found this on this floor plan on Pinterest, and it was not only a floor plan, it was also, I don't remember if it was actually a picture of or a drawing of the facade of the house, and then also a floor plan. And I just saw it. I was like, I need to build this in The Sims. And I felt like it suits the Frio family as well. So that's always a great building tip, guys. If you have no inspiration, just go on to onto Pinterest or Google even, and just Google floor plans, because I feel like floor plans are often quite tricky to sort of figure out, especially if you only build with the exterior in mind, and then you kind of have to figure out the floor plan. That can be quite tricky, but kind of looking at floor plans give you much more of an idea of, you know, what a realistic floor plan would look like, and it really helps you to make better builds, basically. So this is Connor's room. I imagine him to be a writer. So I built like a large office space. I kind of sectioned his bedroom off, like one place where he sleeps, and then the other area is where he would write his romantic novels. I don't know why. I feel like he would write romantic novels, or maybe he's more into thrillers. I don't know. You can make that up. And this is Bernadette's room. So her room looks a little bit teen-like, I guess. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to set her as a young adult, so maybe she's like 20 or something, and she still has like a lot of stuff left from her teenage years. But I think, you know, what makes this room look like a teen room rather than an adult room is all like the stuffed bears. But again, like, there's also a purpose for that. Like, I really wanted to suggest that she is basically a descendant from Claire the bear. So yeah, that's why I put all the bears in it. I think this room came out really cute, although I don't think it's very suitable for like an actual adult sim. But for the purpose of this storyline, I thought it was fine. And yeah, so this actually is the final room of the speed build, just another bathroom. I guess this is like the bathroom that Connor and Bernadette share. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave this voiceover right here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by leaving a like or a comment, or feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of my future videos. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!